Dame la botella que funda pa' gastarle. Esta noche tú y yo nos vivimos la película. Luce cámara, la acción después en mi recámara. En el duelo no se sabe quién ganará. Eso baila y baby. Ese seguro y retrocede. Que me encanta la manera en que tú lo mueves.
Solo pégate un poquito, mami, que yo quiero enseñarte lo que yo tengo para ti. Lo que tengo para ti. Sé que te va a encantar como meto yo.
What is going on, Cowboy Nation? Welcome back to Primetime Studios. Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil. And like always, in this Season 3 of this Primetime Studios, I guess it is, it's Gametime, Bryan. Gametime, how are you doing, sir? Welcome to Week 2.
Welcome. Welcome. I hear myself. Welcome.
Ooh, that's
come
congratulations.
Come on.
Yeah, it's probably a little thing. You're a little glitchy on your side, so maybe some internet stuff.
On my side?
Yeah, you're
Okay.
like you look like that guy
know.
from the old 80s, like, hey, get yourself a Pepsi. Like, you remember that guy?
Yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. How's our internet? Are we good?
Yeah, I see a little shaky over on this side. But anyways,
I got nobody talking to me, so
yeah, they don't know you're talking. They must be talking online. Those buddies online must be asking how the internet is. Anyways,
sorry.
here we are. Game. You know, we got a game tonight for Thursday Night Football. You're going to be broadcasting on your side as well. But we needed to kind of jump on a Thursday instead of the day before the game like we tried to do or whatever, Friday or Saturday. But here we are because, you know, it's going to be a crazy week for you. You're headed towards Pennsylvania, right?
Harrisburg, Pennsylvania.
Yeah, and I'm going to be towards Central Florida, so we're going to be kind of kapoots. And I know I'm going to be watching the Cowboys, and I feel a little bit better about, obviously, these Cowboys since week 1. Not throwing all my eggs in the basket. Obviously, I'm not talking any kind of run, but I do like the body of work that they are, you know, even in their first game. I mean, we had a lot of rookies in there, even guys that were in their second year, but they're rookies, apparently, until game 4 or 5, overshown. But man, what a showing by them. Can they follow it up? Can they actually do something that previous Cowboys had trouble doing? And that's getting some streaks going on, you know? Sometimes they would get it, but it was stupid little like, oh, we're playing a winning team. We can't do that. So this is going to be our first test as a winning team. How do you feel about the matchup going in?
Yeah, I think we're going to be good. Now, I just did my speed test and 392.31
You look better.
download.
You look better now.
47.72 upload, so I'm good. I don't know. But anyway, yeah, I like the matchup a lot. I think that, you know, it suits us well. We're going to be a little undermanned, it sounds like. But, again, I expect us to come away with the W. I've been saying all week that if we do not take advantage of this opportunity to go 2-0, then it would make the Cleveland win not mean anything.
Yep.
In order for that win to mean anything, you need to double down, put a win behind us, and go to 2-0. That's what you have to do, and I think they will. So, and we'll get into all the particulars, I'm sure. But welcome, everybody. We got EJB, West Virginia Country Boy, CZ, Arturo Gomez, Mike Aldana. Who else do we got in here? JoJo's in here. What's going on, everybody?
Yeah, right now I'm so used to clicking and highlighting these chats by the upper one that I have, and so now I've like incorporated. I keep clicking stuff, and I think I'm like highlighting it, and it's just not doing anything. I'm like, well, what's going on, man? So again, new system.
What's up,
tricking
Derek J?
me.
How are you,
Arturo
my
has
man?
it right. This is one of those situations where, yeah, you need to run. We need to run the ball. You have an offensive line that even if you put, you know, running back A, running back B, running back C, you should see the same results because of what the offensive line can do. You know, looking back on some of these plays as I watched that Cowboys game versus Cleveland, you know, as I watched the rookies a little bit more, there was some stuff now that I saw with Tyler Guyton, you know, missing a little bit more, maybe in assignments, even Cooper Beebe, you know, being sucked into bad assignments just because Zach Martin and Tyler Smith are kind of not reading correctly as well. Like that, for example, that touchdown where they throw to Brandon Cooks. As you watch that, he obviously goes into an audible, and it's an amazing audible, I think. Just a crazy, crazy play. But the fact that there was enough linemen to really be able to pick up that blitz, but because of how, Zach, basically Tyler Smith, I think Tyler Smith was the one that kind of crashed in, took Cooper Beebe's guy, and then allowed, and of course Guyton didn't, collapse in. And then that guy came free straight to Dak. And so, those little things like that they need to get onto the same page. But again, week 1, I like how the offensive line played. How do you feel about them going into this matchup? Because, let's be real. Cleveland had a hell of a defensive line, and they did a very good job. So how do you feel about their matchup going into this one?
As long as they don't lose sight of the fact, I'm talking scheme-wise, I'm talking coaches.
Jojo.
Cleveland's defense was definitely head and shoulders above the New Orleans defense, but that's not to say that New Orleans does not have some talent.
Yeah,
because they do.
They do.
Demario Davis.
Lattimore.
They have. Lattimore may not play, so that would be huge. They got the Honey Badger, who's a little nicked up as well. They got Chase.
You don't
Young.
mess with Honey Badgers. They don't give up.
Yeah. They got who else? Who's the D tackle that I'm thinking of? You know what I'm talking about. Big boy.
Yeah. Oh God.
The end.
Jordan.
Anyway,
No.
Jordan. Yes,
Yeah.
Cam Jordan. Again, they do have defense, but it's nowhere near on the level as what Cleveland has. Cleveland has top 3 corners,
and their defensive tackles to me were really good.
The line, it's just nasty. So again,
I think they're going to be able to come out this week as well and prove it, because they got to go against the Jets. I believe they got to go against the Jets. I'm not even sure. I can't even. Man, I got to look through some of these. Who does Cleveland play this week?
Cleveland, they don't play the Jets. The Browns play at Jacksonville, so they're probably going to 0-2.
Right. So with the Jacksonville though, it's like I still don't, even if they are impressive in 1 week, I still until they're I'm sorry, I'm trying to think about the right words to say for Jacksonville, but I can't get my hopes up with them. They're still trying to win the state of Florida, and they're just okay. If you really look at what the Jacksonville Jaguars are trying to do, they're trying to get fans. That's what they're trying to do. They're drafting Bortles, they're drafting Lawrence, they're drafting these guys that are somewhat locally, and so they're trying to get people to draw to them by getting these homebodies or near beer. See, and so to me, right there, they're trying to still win fan bases instead of winning effing championship. So it's like until they get on that page, and Doug Peterson is obviously the right direction for them, but they still got a long ass ways to go, man, and they got too many people that are trying to leave compared to stay.
I hear you, and you know how it's going to go. Dallas is going to beat Dallas beat Cleveland, and then they're going to start out 0-2, and they're going, well, see, we told you they stink. That's just how it's going to go. Who cares? Just talking about.
I think Cleveland's going to get this one. Yeah, I think Cleveland will get that one, and by 2 weeks,
Jacksonville really should have won the game in Miami. So
by
let's face it.
By 2 weeks, you'll hear Cleveland. Oh, Cleveland's great again, but everybody forget about how like Dallas did.
Yeah, and me personally, I was doing me and my live stream today, and we had what was his name, Lord Vaughn. Eagle fan, came in, and he was, I was not flexing in the least. Believe me, I'm taking one game by one. I don't know what else you want me to say.
They take Dallas, it's one of those people, one of those type of things where maybe they're just looking for any little thing to jump on that.
Well, they just are up. Some Eagle fans are upset that everybody's just not kneeling before Zod after one win. Okay, they don't want to talk about last year, Phil. Because they know how it ended, but they want to bring up last year how it ended for us.
Yeah.
And it's not fair. That's not how it works. If anybody knows NFL football, the team that starts the season isn't the same team that ends the season. Okay? And then
it was like the Oregon Trail.
Team of it. Well, it's true.
It's like the
'cause look
Oregon
at
Trail. The
last
same
year.
people that began ain't the same people that
What's up,
ended.
Jeff Lee. Well, yeah. Well, I like the
so wrong.
analogy, but just looking at Jordan Love was ass week 1 last year. Yet he got hot. He was one of the more hotter players going into the playoffs, as well as the Green Bay Packers. So that's a fact.
Yep.
Started out this week. Eagles did a good job winning, but Jordan Love couldn't hit the broadside of a barn. There was guys running free.
Man. Well, I mean, there was a lot of throws behind.
Again,
there was a lot of Trey. It reminded me of Trey Lance. He looked like Trey Lance. That's what he looked like.
Well, and
Oregon Trail reference. I did, Mike. I did it. That was the secret word of the day. Bam.
Dallas couldn't do nothing in the second half last week. So I'm crapping on them too.
Yep.
We have to keep it 100. But again, it is what it is, and we will move forward, and we'll see. But yes, I'm looking forward to the game on Sunday. I should be home Sunday morning, right before about 11:30, hopefully. So I'll be home in time. But yeah, looking forward to the game. I love the early start.
Yeah.
Get in, get out. Be able to kick back. I'm loving that. So. But yeah, we got a good game tonight too, and we'll be talking about the whole whatever kit and caboodle. But what are your fears as far as when you play the New Orleans Saints? I have mine, but I talk a lot. So what do you think regarding the Saints?
To me, the Saints are a threat if Derek Carr can actually show up. So if he plays well and the offensive line can actually block for him, he can be a threat. Kamara, I mean, anytime he can be something. I mean, at least a little bit short line threat. I do at least feel more confident in our running game. That doesn't mean that we solved the problem, it's gone or anything. No, it's just the product that they put out on the field for the first week looks pretty good when it comes to the run defense. And so going and basing it off of that, I really I don't fear Kamara as much as I did before.
No.
A little bit of Derek Carr in that passing because of some still of the iffiness of Carson and Jordan Lewis, but at the same time, I feel great about those guys compared to what I did a week before.
Yeah, well, looking at New Orleans, Phil. New Orleans gets rid of the ball, or at least they did last week. They got rid of the ball real quick. Now, again, I would expect totally different.
Yeah, they got no D line. The Panthers.
I would expect a totally different game plan against the Cowboys. Mm-hmm. They cannot go in with that same game plan because if they
they need to get rid of it fast. I think so too. The blitz. They can't do the blitz.
They were selling out.
Yeah.
And what's his name? Bryce. What's his name?
Bryce Young.
Bryce Young didn't have the wherewithal. You saw the one play that they went after Dak. And Dak and Brandon Cooks, because of all the work in training camp, they are in lockstep and their timing is down. You saw what Dak did. He unloaded the ball before he made his break, and it made it look.
He hadn't even gotten to the safety yet by the time he was releasing that ball. I mean, he had to by that point because of what the line did. But man, what a great job by Dak, and just the audible. I was amazed by the audible itself. Yeah, so I mean, there was a lot of game planning on both sides. Where even when I saw in Zimmer, a lot of confusion that he was causing by simple stuff. It wasn't rocket science. He wasn't revolutionizing football and how it's played. He just made a guy go in motion, or he would do something, put two guys in the A gap, and just back them off, and just. It's crazy how that little part would cause a bit of confusion to where four guys could beat six guys on the offensive line. So thank you very much, Brad. I appreciate that. Thank you.
Yeah,
again, I'm trying to incorporate this.
What's that?
No. I was just trying to incorporate that chat a little bit. I like it sitting there. Yeah. On the next one, cool. On the matchup, I don't have the chat there, but I can still highlight. But no, I definitely liked how this one turned out. Thank you very much, Brad.
Yeah, I like that better than the last one.
Yeah, because they're really small. You really couldn't see what they were saying.
Yeah. Yes, I agree. But yes, indeed. I think what we got to do is come out and stop the run. First and foremost, we stop the run. Okay, stop the run. Now, I don't know. I'll be very curious to see if Zimmer, because he did a lot of zone last week. So I'm kind of thinking,
More man
yeah,
coverage.
a little more seatbelt type coverage up in the pocket.
Yeah, I think Derek Carr is really good at zone. So I mean, he's above average. I mean, he's not. Yeah,
he gets rid of the ball quick. So if you have D-backs up on the receivers, right, you could have some opportunities. I don't know why my
Arturo, are you saying that because you have Tolbert on your fantasy? Is that what you're saying? Jalen Tolbert needs to get more touches.
Didn't show up last week.
Yeah,
so.
man. He first off the bat. I mean,
my guy Jalen Brooks did.
Well, you get Zeke off the side, and then the first thing Tolbert does is do a holding call. I mean, that shit is Hendershot type of stuff, man. Tolbert needs to kind of get that kind of together. Of course, he doesn't get any targets when you kind of have to punish him a little bit. You know, get him out there, put him at tight end for a little bit, and let him block out in the offensive line. It was kind of like, come on, Tolbert. It's those little things when you expecting a guy to step up, and let's be real, man. It's not like the pressure is on him. He has other guys, Brooks and everything in the mix. So he doesn't necessarily need to be that guy or show that he is that guy. So it seems like the pressure would be off to at least attempt to be that guy. So I don't know, man. Maybe it's going to be just that one game. You know how Miles Austin was kind of just Miles Austin until that Kansas City game, where all of a sudden he went for 200-something yards, and you're like, hey, woo, Miles Austin? Yeah, so I think Tolbert is eventually going to hit a game where he hits that, and I'm not to say that he won't regress, but hopefully that'll be the launching point.
Yeah, hopefully Ferguson doesn't rush back long season. Yeah, I agree, Brad. He should not play if he's limited whatsoever.
I heard that he was a good chance that he wasn't going to play.
Yeah, problem is we don't have John Stevens Jr., so Luke Schoonmaker will probably elevate Princeton Fant, and
Hunter.
Obviously we have Brevin Spanford.
And Hunter Lepke.
And Hunter Lepke, and like Phil was talking, the Tolberts, the two Jalen's are,
punishment.
I mean,
I put a bigger wide receiver, but I was saying as punishment, get in there, Tolbert.
Yeah,
we're gonna put you at fullback.
I love Lepke, so I'm all for increasing his carries.
Dude, Hunter almost messed that. Oh, dude, he false started that one, man. He needs to get that crap together, dude.
But I mean, he had a good game.
Yeah, he did.
Yeah,
I don't give him shit. I am.
Yeah, I mean, again, they love him, and you can see why. He's really supposedly through one game, but they said that they've seen a marked improvement in his blocking. He actually is really taking pride in that fullback role, even though he can be the H-back type of guy. He comes from Lepke, like I said before. He comes from a system in college where he was a running back in the single back, just a big guy. But I'm very excited about him.
Well, let's be real.
I want to see more of Deuce Vaughn. Okay, I know that's blasphemy in some parts, but I want to see Deuce Vaughn to get a whole series and build off of it. I'm telling you, people are going to be surprised. He's got the most juice, including Dowdle. Dowdle finds the way to get lost every game. He has opportunities, doesn't seize it. Zeke looked like the best guy out of the bunch. Rico was missing holes that he shouldn't be missing. Mm-hmm. I'm not saying he's not going to be okay, but everybody's worried about Rico Dowdle. Don't worry. When he's up to speed, Dalvin Cook will be up in the mix. And Rico Dowdle may find his way out if he doesn't get it act together. But Deuce Vaughn, you saw him on special teams, Phil. That's big. The fact that he plays special teams. Rico don't play special teams. Yeah. Zeke don't play special teams. So Deuce Vaughn is doing what he has to do to stay on his team. So I want to see the guy get more reps. I just do. From the running back position. I think that would be great. So maybe some two-back sets.
Yeah,
yes,
I like
it's
that.
An Emmitt Smith. We call this a Jersey. It's a Jersey, but it's nice. It's kind of thick. Nice. E. Smith.
So going into this game, Dallas, I don't think the defense in that sense of what the Cowboys are facing is as elite as Cleveland. Again, that doesn't prove anything. I think it's definitely going to be a different matchup than it was for Carolina, as Carolina was for the Saints. And they know going into it. I think I've heard a little bit of people say, well, it's a trap game. Well, a team blows another team out 47 to whatever. That's not – that. There's no trap. There's no trap. I don't even know why people bring that crap up. it'd be different if they got beat 47 to whatever, and so I just think that's just funny.
You got it, Curtis.
They got their fans all hyped up, all ready to go. So to me, there's a pumped crowd behind them. So there is no there is no sleeper type of game. They're ready to kind of play, and again, I really like what this defense is doing because there's a lot of speed on that field, and where I was really lacking with the linebackers last year. Damone Clark is really the fourth linebacker, and you hardly saw him. He still played really well, but the other guys just shined. I mean, how many sacks there were between just getting to the quarterback, getting quarterback hits. I love the depth that's there at linebacker. Are we on the right direction? Hell yeah, man. I just like the fact that these guys are soaking up the information that Kendricks is spilling, and so I'm really enjoying that Kendrick decided to come here instead of staying and go in San Francisco. So, man, what a hell of a decision that ended up benefiting us. What's up, Vinny?
Yeah, man.
No, but anyways, what I want to say is the defense in that sense. Our defensive line going against now their offensive line in the Saints, it's just different than what Carolina has. How do you see that front, controlling this game? And because we need to be able to stop their run. I mean, not to say that Camaro did a great job, but he did still some damage. And of course, if you can, get some pressure on Derek Carr and of course, all the running backs. Trying to remember who the other running back is. There's their second running back.
You got Williams.
There you go. Jamal Williams. There you go. Thank you. Yeah, he was in Detroit last year, and so now that's a whole different dynamic. What are you guys laughing about?
That's how you. No, it's just funny. You panicked.
Yeah. I couldn't remember it.
I do it all the time. So I know the feeling.
I'm like, what the hell was that name? That guy? It was that
Harris.
He has that hair.
Don't throw me off.
Yeah, it was like I can't even remember what the hell his name was.
I have the name, but don't you throw a name that I have no clue because you may send me down a.
Well, you answered it, man. You answered it. Sometimes
or else I would have forgotten.
Williams, like it's just like
well,
that's a pretty
Williams.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually pretty good. So no, and with the running game, I mean,
I feel like a Kentucky Fried Idiot.
That's the only thing that's going to relieve Carr. I think when you look at what the pressure that the Dallas did last week, I think it's a lot of credit is taken away from them because they tried to discredit Cleveland's offensive line. Again, I keep pointing out that those tackles were already there. They were 11-6 last year. Those tackles, and they just need to get on the same page. Phil, I haven't received my shirt. Yeah, I'm sorry, man. I'm trying to do coffee mugs. I'm trying to get it all done. Brian, are you doing any kind of coffee mugs for your set?
Eventually.
Shot glasses.
I gotta do one thing at a time. This website.
We might need to do a switch.
Really I'm thinking maybe Sunday. I'm gonna work on it after the game.
Nice.
I need to get it up and going. I just haven't had a lot of time, but I have all the stuff I need to do. I just need to I need to take the time to do it. So yeah, it's coming along. We need to focus on what we're doing and try and add if we can.
So as I was talking about our defensive line, I kind of wanted to go and talk about each one and how you felt that they made an impact. There's guys like Parsons. I feel like he takes rest moments. I think he needs to come out a little bit just because there's a lot of times where he gets stonewalled and that's it. He stops. I'd rather have some fresh legs in there. Somebody's trying to prove a point. Get him out. Get him thirsty to want to play. They keep taking me out. So let's go out there and do something. Make him angry a little bit. Piss him off during the game because just giving it to him, giving him the reps every single time doesn't seem to be kind of motivating him. Maybe taking those away and allow. I mean, I know it's a pain in the ass, but Neil, it's not like you don't have bad people. Replacing. You got Nealon, Law. You got some good linebackers there, Overshone and Kendricks that you can put right there in the middle. That's replacing them for a down or two. I see it when I see him play. By the time it's the second, third quarter. Now, don't get me wrong. All of a sudden, that tiredness, he just makes a play out of nowhere, and you don't want to lose out on that. I think of course, what I could be saying is idiotic. But how do you?
I know what you're saying.
Yeah.
I understand, but. Again, he's young. Zimmer has a new toy. he's just scratching the surface. Again, there's only so much you can do against a team like Cleveland. First game of the year, you're not going to pull. I mean, they basically said they have like 50 some defensive plays. They used about 3
formations. That's ridiculous. That's formations, like different types of that's crazy.
I mean, like lining here.
Even like your nickels, your dimes, your 3, your 4-4s, your 8-4s,
somebody in the A gap
or 8-3s
in the linebacker spot. I mean, I did see there was a couple times, once or twice, where at the snap of the ball, you had Micah and D. Law shooting back into gaps, and they're sending linebacker in a corner, and it's just
the corner got pressure. Corner got there too, didn't he?
Exactly, and Zimmer's not going to wait and hope. No. He's going to make it happen. Mm-hmm. So he's going to take advantage of your weakness and make it happen. So again, that doesn't mean that we're not going to get burned. There was a couple drops last week that would have extended the drives. It wouldn't have really done anything last game. They may have gotten some more points, but there was some drops. Mm-hmm. The better quarterbacks in the league will complete those, but we're just scratching the surface. So I'm not too worried about now with Micah, but I hear you. Once Carl Lawson is up to speed, I would expect him to be elevated, and just get, Marshawn Nealand is supposedly it's precautionary, but he had a quad thing going on.
Calf,
or a calf that he missed practice yesterday, but they're saying precaution. He had 6 pressures in the game, which was unbelievable for a rookie.
Dude, that whole defense just pressuring 17 pressures. Like, it was just
pass rush. Yeah. Well, people who don't know get caught. Sacks is what it's about. No, it's not. It's about pressures.
Today I put this out there on Twitter. I was teasing. I think somebody actually quoted Parsons. I put this out there. I was like, hey, this is Overshone overtaking Parsons to get to Watson. So of course somebody tagged Parsons. I'm like, all right, this is gonna get interesting.
That's cool. I'm hearing myself again.
Oh, okay,
that's great. Arturo, too much, man.
No, but when I look at this, okay, so
ambulance ride in the treatment
Brad.
Emergency room. Yeah, fuck that, Brad.
How'd you say on the opposite side when you look at that? Of course, Nealon, we're talking about very good as a young guy getting his first game, doing a really good job holding the edge. How do you feel Law did?
Oh, D-Law. I hate to look ahead. Hopefully he stays around. Yeah. He's just an all-around solid player. He's the steady Eddie of that defense. Yeah, Micah. He makes the splash play. He'll make the stop when you need it. But D-Law he's just a menace every series. And he don't always get there, but I love D-Law. So,
but it's always a good timing. He has amazing timing with a lot of his stuff. Now, I don't know if you watched some of the defensive line play. With Phillips, I really liked how he played. Yeah, I liked how he talked on the sideline. I don't know if you saw the sounds of the sideline. Just how he was talking even to Micah and all that. It's just like you can hear, like there's leadership there, and as much as I love that swagger that he brings, that's definitely something I love is when they're teaching each other. They're not just holding that for themselves. They're really trying to make their teammates better to get an overall just better defense. And I think just having Mike Zimmer on the sideline, didn't he look just really badass in those glasses and like just
he did,
man. He looked good on there.
Zimmer. Yeah. And you have people, I know I keep saying it, but there's a lot of Eagle fans who we owned Mike Zimmer. Okay, as a head coach, okay. I mean, that's fine. It's not this team. It wasn't Jalen Hurts. It was literally nobody on this team. But okay. All I do know is Zimmer has a lot of success against the Kyle Shanahan offense. So
that's what we need.
And you're going to see that offense this week. I expect a lot of screens by Derek Carr. Screen, because I think that's going to be the one-way smoke screen.
But I like our linebacker play to be able to catch those screens, to be able to see those, to get around those. Even guys like, that you haven't heard, Marquise Bell again, Wanye Thomas, those guys can get out into the space. You're going to see Overshone possibly break up some of these. If, again, all this is going off of, if everything goes correctly and they're just not playing, they're playing Cowboy football, really, because I do like how the game plan coming into the Cleveland game. There was a lot there. There was a lot on the field when you see it. There was just, as Bryan says, man, there was drops. There was, we were behind the sticks a lot of the times in the beginning.
Yeah.
Where, just stupid
11
plays.
penalties.
Yeah, man, it was there. I mean, that stuff was there. It's just you were so good in your efficiency that, you were able to wipe that out and it never became a concern. And, of course, the defense going 3 and out, doing their thing, that is huge. And, again, I want to at least give Cleveland a little bit of credit and say they might not be an elite offense, but they are a good offense. So it at least gives me credit going. At least it gives them credit going forward that this Dallas defense can do some damage because they're very talented. But again, it's going to be Zimmer's scheme that's going to make the difference, I believe.
Yeah, Brad, I did see it. He says, "Did you guys see Diggs and Harris hug before the game? That was awesome." Yeah, people don't realize the struggle when it takes a guy who has a bad injury like an ACL. When you come back, that's not easy. That's a full year of rehab. Your teammates are out on the field having fun, and you're stuck in your house with your leg up watching it. You're wondering if your knee's going to respond. It's just a long haul. So for him to get an interception, albeit a tipped ball interception, it's just very, very, very cool to see how much these players love Al Harris. Bang, bang, what's up? First of all, it was Dan Quinn hype. Now it's the Mike Zimmer hype. Well, Mike Zimmer's done it before, bang, bang. So, yeah, but again,
you're seeing exactly what Dan Quinn did on our defense kind of become what they're happening in Washington, where they can't stop the run. It's just there, man. It's pretty elaborate. And I think the only thing that makes them probably going to become better is, of course, that quarterback and the fact that that he's on the sideline. That coach being on the sideline is the biggest difference, man. The fact that he was never on the sideline still just baffles me because I think this defense I know he was like that towards the end of Seattle, but I swear I remember seeing him on the sideline in Seattle for some reason. But, I know towards the end he was definitely up in that booth. So I just don't know where that's come from. I don't know if he's just used to a Madden view or what.
Yeah, right. I agree. Yeah, really, I want to see Phil in Gametime hugging. I'll make a T-shirt, and that would be priceless. Mark Hudson, just because. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, Brad. He says, "Wow, these graphics are amazing." I know I already said it, but it's true. Thank you.
Brad's got a little something going on there. Brad's all excited. They are nice, Brad. They're very nice.
Well, I mean, when I look at this defense, and we were talking about the linebacker, we're talking about the defensive line. Again, I like at least the direction they're going in the sense of being able to adjust to the run. Those runs, you weren't seeing big gaping runs, like crazy small guys trying to make those tackles. They were flying around the ball because even if there was somewhat of a missed tackle, there was somebody else wrapping up. So as I'm talking about that and the whole wrapping up and playing well and not, how do you feel as we go to our rookie corner? How do you feel that Carson played, and does it set him up for possibly giving him some confidence going forward?
Yeah, I love Kalen Carson, and I especially love when he comes to the sideline and the whole team is saying that's the third interception that you should have had. So they're holding him accountable.
Thank you, Mark.
They're holding him accountable. They're giving him credit, but they're also saying, "Yo, bro, you got to start coming up with these balls." That was some of the issues with him in college, where he was a great cover corner, but could not come up.
It's that Byron Jones coverage.
Yeah, exactly.
It's that Byron Jones coverage. It's like, Yeah, but I liked it. I mean, okay, to be able, Jerry doesn't hand these numbers out likely. I mean, when you look at Dez, and he was number 88, Lamb coming in didn't want the number 88, but Jerry was like, "Nah, man, this is you're gonna live up to his legacy," and he's done a great job of living up to that. So they give out these numbers, but they don't give them out all willy-nilly. Let's be real. We want Agent Zero, but you're like, that's Rowdy's number. And you're just like, man, Rowdy can kiss our... And Overshown is telling us to... And I don't know if you saw Overshown. He was actually putting up for, he's like, hey, man, give my boy Rowdy some love and stuff. And you're just like, well, he can be 00 and you can be 0. But it's terrible, man. Bad. But when you look at it, the fact that they handed him 21, he took it with confidence, or he asked for it. They feel confident in giving it to him, that they're not going to just like put some kind of basically when they used to dunk on people and they used to put it on the poster, like, oh, you became a poster. I don't think they want to see 21 in the Cowboys uniform just getting blown up in the end zone all the time. So I like his swagger. I like his demeanor. I'm hoping that he can live up to that number. And I like, even though it's game 1, I do like that a majority of his battles he won. I mean, yeah, he gave up that touchdown, but when you look at the touchdown, I don't even know very many veterans that would have been able to keep up with Jerry Jeudy in that route. So obviously the elite ones would, but that was a hard one.
It's all good, Curtis. Yeah, Brad. There's always idiots, man. Apparently, I'm too old for YouTube, so I got that going for me. And then Phil says, old man. So
I didn't even know that happened. My bad. I was like, hey, remember 7 o'clock, old man?
Oh, I don't care. I'm good. I'm good. But, but I'm like, that's why we have mods. What's up,
Mike Tag?
Mike Tag's in the house.
Hey, what's going on,
Mike
man?
Tag, your tailgate's next week, right? You're going to you're doing the Raven tailgate, right?
He's feeling pretty good, man. His Miami Hurricanes are looking good. That quarterback,
Hurricanes are killing it.
Yeah, they look
but
good. They got a
he's
good
going
roster.
to the Raven game. That's good because Mike Tag's good luck. So we need him there in the building for the Ravens game. Me and Phil will be at the November 10th game. Mike, so
we'll see if we're good or bad.
What's that?
We'll see if we're good or bad luck. So
we'll see. Yeah, we'll see. Need to get you guys out. Yeah, definitely, man. We're going to the November 10th game. We got a tailgate with Philip, Dak's uncle, and so it should be fun. That's what's supposed to happen. But regardless, we got a lot of people meeting up out there for that game. Everybody, put the thumbs up and subscribe, share. Thank Mark Hutchton. Thank you, my man. Every time I turn on my whether it's TikTok or Instagram, I see Mike, man. I swear he's got to be the hardest working guy on covering the Cowboys right now. He's doing it all. Phil, I just haven't really gotten into the other platforms, and I know I'm missing out.
Oh, I know. I'm trying to adventure out.
I'm really, it's like foreign to me.
Yeah.
And whereas Mike seems to have nailed it, which is cool, man.
Question?
We were there at the beginning. Just remember, we were there at the beginning.
Is that
That's kind of
like that. A little WTF. I like it.
That's kind of like us with it. I'm trying to. I messed up my whole OBS by trying to broadcast the other ones at the exact same time. So I had to figure out a loophole in between it, and I found a great way to do it. I just had to figure out the key streams for each platform to be able to set it up. So yeah, that's a whole other world. But anyways, Mark Hudgens says, everybody put the thumbs up, subscribe, and share. I appreciate it, Mark. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Yeah, well, I need to come up with some more music stuff. The other stuff that I was getting hit with copyrights, the YouTube went through that little copyright little thing for quite a bit there at the beginning of that season, didn't they? I don't know. I was getting hit. It seemed like every other day.
It's funny because stupid me, like coming into this literally only a couple months ago. I was going through and none of my stuff was monetized. I hadn't monetized anything. It's different. Like now when I
don't even know how to do any of that stuff. I haven't done any of that. So,
but you know what I mean? Like, I thought all my stuff I was just getting money from Super Chat, but I wasn't getting a dime from any of the views. Now I am. I'm like,
no, I don't. Okay. You got to show me how to do that.
I didn't. I wasn't doing something right. So, but once I did that, I was getting all these copyrights from my old videos. So then I had to go back and trim and just they have new features where you can mute it. Nobody's gonna go back and watch an old show anyway, but still,
Curtis, when you're a mod, you just make sure that nobody comes in here, soliciting and coming in all reckless and all, I don't mind them. It stinks and they stink. They haven't been in Super Bowl. I don't mind that stuff, but what we're talking about. They're really, really,
Dallas
really
sucks,
bad
whatever.
stuff.
You call me old, light them up.
Yeah.
Light their ass up. But anyway, do you want to get into the weekend games?
Yeah, let's do this. Let's do this, man.
I'm looking at the time. I'm like,
because you got your broadcast here in 20 minutes.
Yeah, I'm exhausted too. So hopefully I have people come in.
See, that's the old part.
Yes, let's start out with the weekend football starting tonight. Real quick, what do you got? We got the Bills visiting the Dolphins. What do you think?
Unfortunately,
right now the Bills are a 2.5-point underdog. Coming to South Beach.
That's surprising. I want Miami to beat Buffalo so badly. I want Miami to show up, man. But unfortunately, I have to go with the Buffalo Bills until Miami kind of. At some point they will. They could blow out Buffalo right now and just be 40-something, to 13. But let's be real. It's Buffalo. Buffalo stays in it with Miami. These teams are just there's a rivalry there, even though there isn't. There's a back and forth. Even if one team is bad, the other, they'll still struggle. But both teams are pretty good. I mean, I'd say Buffalo's a little bit better. But again, with McDaniels on the sideline, I think Miami always has a chance.
Yeah, this is a real hard game. Most of America, based on the pigskin pick'em, is going with the Dolphins. I'm going to go with the Bills there. Thought Dolphins really should have lost week 1. So
I thought so too.
I really did. I
did pick them.
Thought they should have lost the game.
I did pick them, but they didn't deserve to win that game.
Yeah, so I expect the Bills to come in. I don't think Bills deserve to win either. So, who knows?
Can they both lose? Can we both lose? That'd be awesome.
Yeah. Moving on to the 1:00 game, you got the Ravens visiting the Ravens. Raiders are a 8.5 to 9-point underdog in Baltimore.
Yeah, I can't see myself not picking Baltimore. This is Ravens. One of those things that even if the Ravens turn it over 4 or 5 times, they can still find a way to win it. Again, I guess the Raiders could do stuff. I mean, it is Minshew. It is. What is his name? Hopkins? Is it not Hopkins? Adams over there.
Yeah.
And so I think there's always a possibility for something to happen. I mean, but when you really break it down, and if it comes down to it, I got to pick the Ravens, man.
Yeah, Ravens. Definitely Ravens.
Let me. Sorry, guys. I'm not putting your little picks up here. I'm not putting the picks up here. How dare I?
And then we go to the next game. The Chargers visiting Carolina. Carolina is a 5.5-point home underdog. So give me the Chargers. I don't know if they're going to cover, but Carolina stinks. Can I tell it? Carolina friggin' stinks.
Yeah, the pick on that is like 98%. It's ridiculous. I got to go Chargers too, man. Panthers, man. It's going to take some really shitty. Like if they go against Chicago, maybe I'll pick the Panthers at that point. But unless somehow they get on some kind of miracle run, which I don't even know if I'll still pick them at that point, I got to go Chargers.
Moving along, we're going to skip over the Cowboy game, end up with the Cowboy game. Buccaneers visit the Lions in a 1:00 showdown. 7.5-point home favorite are the Detroit Lions. Detroit eked out an overtime victory that they easily could have lost, but they didn't. What are your thoughts on the Bucs taking on the Lions? Bucs handed who did they play week 1? It was
Washington, right?
Dominating win though.
Washington.
Yes, the left-hand up Commandos, 37-20, and it wasn't that close. So,
yeah, I gotta go Detroit as well. I mean,
yes, definitely.
Until somebody kind of knocks their little rhythm off, I kind of have to go on theirs. They're still trying to figure it out, so it's not like it's glamoury and it's amazing. Ooh, it's a little shiny little thing. No, man, it's just Detroit. Detroit can play some smash mouth football, and this is what this might become with these two matching up. So I got to go Lions.
I agreed. I think I think it's an easy one. I do agree with that one. Moving along, we got this one's an interesting one. This one's a real interesting one. I have a feeling I'm going to be on the wrong end of this. Packers are hosting the Indianapolis Colts. The Packers are a 2.5-point underdog. I went with the Colts.
Yep.
But I have a feeling the Packers will somehow win this game.
I got to go Colts as well, just because last week, the Colts were in it with a starting C.J. Stroud. So they were in it for a while, and they look like they may be able to make the comeback. So the Colts kind of keep in games, and with Richardson being healthy, they are somewhat of a threat. Especially to run the ball and everything.
Of the Packers, though,
but
is it going to be Willis?
I'm not even sure who the backup is.
Yeah, I think it's Willis. They traded for Willis.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Because he was at the end of the game. He was at the last game.
Again, that's no slight on the Eagles. They started out how they started out last year, the Packers. The Packers were horrible early on in the year.
If Jordan Love was healthy, I would pick the Packers. But
but now he's out.
Even with the Colts, even if the Colts backup comes in, they got a pretty decent backup quarterback too. So I got to go Colts on this one.
Very good. This next one is very interesting, and I'll probably be on the wrong side of this. The Browns go to Jacksonville. Jacksonville is a field goal favorite, basically a pick-em game. You get the 3 points for the home field. Browns at the Jaguars.
I am actually going to go underdog. I've done this a couple of times. I've been pretty successful, except for the Tennessee-Chicago game. That damn defense kept them in there, man. Right. But otherwise, I'm gonna go Cleveland on this one. I think they kind of bounce back, put more of a game together. Not to say it's going to be even fancy or anything, but again, Jacksonville. I don't know, man. It's just what Jacksonville team is going to show up. They didn't look great in week 1 to me. But, I got to give Cleveland a little bit more credit. I think they're a better team than what people are giving them credit for. Before this Dallas game, trust me, they were ranting and raving about the Browns. I think that could start to swing back that way now that the Cowboys have played them. And I like that. And in about 2 or 3 games, you'll just forget all about that Cowboys game, and then all of a sudden, Cleveland will be an amazing team again.
Yeah. I'll take the Jags at home. I think Cleveland goes to 0-2, and
what's up, Mark?
I see. Yeah, it's just the way it's going to go, I think. But I could be wrong.
You the man, dog. You around, homie?
That guy just call you the Godfather?
Must be joking around or something. I don't know.
I think I got to put Mark's face on that right there. Did that guy just call you the Godfather?
All right, moving along here. We got the 49ers visiting the Vikings. Yes, Vikings are a 5.5-point underdog.
How is it only 5.5? How is it only 5.5? Like, what kind of crap is that, man?
Let down, but I think Niners.
Nah, man, I got to get 49ers. Yeah, Vikings look pretty good in the first matchup, but what was that? Like, I don't know. I can't get behind that team. They have some pretty good weapons, yes, but at some point, the quarterback situation is going to come back to haunt them, and I just don't think they're really equipped and ready for this season. So
Sorry, I thought I muted.
No, you did.
Okay, moving along.
So, what are you picking, 49ers or Vikings?
What's that?
What are you picking, Vikings or 49ers?
No, Niners.
Oh, okay. I thought you were going to go Viking, man.
No, it's not happening. The Vikings are horrible. All you Atlanta Falcon fans and Viking fans, I said they were both not going to be good. Seattle at the 1-0 Patriots.
I picked that one.
Patriots are a 3.5-point underdog at home. I'm going to go Seattle.
I was sitting there looking at this, and I was like, I kind of closed my eyes, kind of feel it a little bit. I'm like, I want
it too.
Oh yeah, I'm touching it and stuff, and like you said,
he's their number one. He's going to get all kinds of balls.
Yeah, and so I have to kind of go Seattle on this one. I can't go against my boy. I'm gonna go Seattle. I feel like Seattle's a little bit more, just more of a complete team. I told you why I think Patriots can win. They got a momentum. They got a young team. But I think when you start to match up against a team that's got talent throughout that roster, that's when those mismatches are going to happen. And I think Seattle has that advantage. So I would have to go Seattle in this matchup.
Agreed. Moving along, a lot of 1:00 games. We got the Jets visiting the Titans. The Titans are a 4-point underdog.
This one was, man, I was like, I think the Jets are going to have a bounce back type of game because obviously the level of talent is different. They're pointing out that when I see on fantasy, they're pointing out that the Jets are one of those 27th or so ranked teams against the run, and that you should start your fantasy with Tennessee's running backs. And I'm like, I don't know. I don't, just because of week one, or you're basing this off of
Right.
week one. I think the Jets are a lot better than that. I think the whole team is way better than that, and I think when Aaron Rodgers is playing well enough, that team is a threat. So I got to go the Jets on this matchup, even though I really want Tony Pollard to have a good game for my fantasy. I can't see Tennessee being able to attack this defense.
I would think the Jets are going to bounce back, but this one could be a win for the Titans, and Jets could be 0-2. Very well could happen. This is one of the harder games for me to pick, but I have time for that one. So I think I initially took the Jets, but
yeah, David Cowboy Pollard had a good week last week, and Spears, he played really well. I got like 48% of the snaps in the running back. So
it seems like the Titans really play with a lot of effort too.
Yeah, it's just their quarterback, Bo Callahan, just messes it up, man.
I mean, Jets got a shitty schedule. Now they went out to West Coast, come all the way home. Now they're going to go back out to Tennessee, and it's kind of
ain't that the truth, Mark? The history says Jets will lose. Yeah, I know. Yeah. That's true. It's so true.
Splash Bruta, what's up? Yeah, I know. I'll be streaming it. I just bumped back the start of my stream till 8:15. So we got. So
let's go ahead and let's push through this.
So we're good. Moving along, another 1:00 game. The Commandos hosting the New York Giants. The Commandos are only a 1.5 point favorite at home. Wow.
I think this one's going to get a little bit out of hand. This is going to get Washington fans really psyched about Jalen Daniels. I think Jalen Daniels destroys the Giants' defense, and they're going to give him enough time that he can do something. His legs are going to be a weapon. I see Washington really running away with this game, unfortunately, because and Brad Harris is very correct because Giants suck.
All right. Yeah, I would say Commanders as well. Commandos.
The Commandos. I got to get a toilet flush sound.
Yeah, that's a good one. All right, we're going to skip over the Cowboy game. Like I said, we're going to the 4:05 matchup. This is a big-time matchup. Cardinals -1 hosting the Rams.
Man, Cardinals look pretty impressive last week.
I'm going to go first here.
Yeah, go ahead.
I'm going to go first. Rams go to 0-2, and they'll probably be the best 0-2 that you'd ever see. I thought the Cardinals played a hell of a first half and then just decided not to come out in the third quarter. Cardinals were rolling. Rams always struggle in Arizona. Give me Arizona. The Rams dropped to 0-2, and that's a lot of people's team to win the division. But that's just my opinion.
I think I have to go Rams on this one. I mean, obviously Puka Nacua being out, but Cooper Kupp was their main thing. I think they're going to get back to that formula, trying to get him involved. I think they need to spread this ball around, whether it's one that they get so fixated on getting certain people the ball. They just need to be able to just run their offense and get back to the basics and really just play football. This is a good chance to do it against an Arizona team that is talented, but by the second half, they tend to run out of gas, and this is the same thing as they were last year. I got to give Kyler Murray, he did really, really well last week, and if anybody knows, I'm not a Murray fan, but he definitely was reading some coverages as he looked like very comfortable back there, even though it kind of got ridiculous after a while. So when I look at these two teams, I got to go Rams just because I don't think they're the type of team. When I look at overall, I don't feel like they're going to want to try to, they're not going to let themselves lose 2 in a row, even though when you look at the talent like Donald and everything, man, they've lost a lot of talent, but I think they're still hungry.
Right. Agreed. So, I mean, it could go either way.
I think Arizona played. Arizona definitely surprised me at being a better team than I thought they were.
Yeah, I think Arizona is going to be able to run the ball at home. I just like Arizona to win the game. I think that was a big that's tough to go from Detroit. Yeah, it's not a far flight to Arizona. It could go either way. If Rams are going to be a dominant team, maybe they go in and beat the Cardinals. Just give me the Cardinals at home. I think the Cardinals let one slip away last week. Moving along to 425, really good matchup. Cincinnati Bengals at the Kansas City Chiefs. Chiefs are a 5.5 point underdog.
What the fuck? What? What? Why? Because Taylor Swift's not going to be there?
I mean, it's favorite.
Oh, okay, favorite. That's what I'm like. What? What do they base that shit off of? Like, what's in Vegas?
Chiefs are a 5.5 point favorite. Sorry.
Kelsey's in the locker room crying. My girlfriend's not out there watching me. You know, is that why? It's like they still got Worthy. They still got
a Kamala. So all hell broke loose.
Yep. I am gonna like. This is the type of game. Even though the Bengals looked very embarrassing last week. This is the type of game that they are able to stay in there and kind of give punches to punches with it and actually look like a team. But in the end, it doesn't really matter because the Chiefs are going to kick their ass. And by the end, I think in the beginning it'll stay close. By the second half, they'll start to blow away, and then Kansas City will be
Bengals
smiling and
are
laughing.
Not that team this year. They got two. They're
not even half that team.
I love Mixon. Their defense is suspect.
Dude, Mixon to Houston.
Wow. I mean, you have a Jamar Chase who's mentally not there. You could tell.
Mm-hmm.
You know, T. Higgins is banged up. There's no way they're going and beating the Chiefs.
Jamar Chase is a Steeler by the end of his career.
He ain't gonna be there. I don't know why. Poor Joe Burrow, but the Chiefs roll, in my opinion. I mean, who knows? But that's my opinion. They got a little bit of extra time since they played last Thursday.
Yeah.
So
they need it.
But anyway, moving along to the 425 matchup, Steelers at the Broncos. Broncos are a 2.5 point underdog. Why? I don't know. Give me the Broncos at home. Let's ride. I
mean, I want Bo Nix to tear it up and do really well.
Ride.
I somehow think Steelers do a better job this week only because of Wilson coming back, not because Wilson's going to lead them and everything. No. It just means that Harris and Warren are actually going to get the
ass at home.
ball, you know. And if you don't hand your running backs the ball, it doesn't. I mean, Fields was over there running around. Their averages go down big time. And not to say that Harris didn't do well. He did very well. But that was their whole offense was just run. And it worked, right? I guess they won the game. But we're right back. I think the running backs are going to be more of a factor this game. And so I got to take Pittsburgh just because they'll slow the ball down, giving Bo Nix less chances. And in the end, that's going to matter a lot. Time of possession.
This is an easy one for me. Broncos roll. They make Russell Wilson look dumb. Sean Payton ain't dropping to 0-2. Not with that defense. Steelers are in trouble. Take the 2.5 points. Yes. Moving along. Chicago Bears visit the Houston Texans on Sunday Night Football. The Texans are a 6.5 point favorite versus the Bears. Give me the Texans to blow the doors off.
Do I really need to explain why this is going to happen? Houston's a better team overall. Chicago, I think Caleb Williams had that look on his face on the sidelines of, before they even had the comeback, before the interceptions, before any of that. He had that look of, okay, maybe this is how the NFL is going to be for me, you know? Like, there was some thoughts in his head. And guess what, man? Just because your defense kind of bailed you out doesn't mean anything, man. That's going to be a rough-ass year for him.
Yes.
And that line is not looking good, man. And I feel like somehow there's going to be a major injury there. It's going to cause even more havoc. So we'll see what happens with that Bears offense. Maybe they find their rhythm, but I can't see it this week.
Yeah, I love. I love the Texans at home. I think they roll. And they get off to a 2-0 start. We're gonna have a show on Monday, correct? We're doing our recap show. Are you gonna be around?
No, I'm not. I will probably be back by then. I leave early in the morning, so I got 3 hours to travel. So I will be back. I just probably won't have a thumbnail until later that day. So.
No, I'm saying because we don't have to cover the Monday night game. We can just wait and do it then.
Yeah,
it's up to you. But,
we'll see. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how the weekend goes, right?
Yeah. Well, if not, then I'll do a show and you can send me your pick.
Boom! I like it.
All right. but we will. Let's get into the Cowboy game now. The Cowboys obviously are hosting the New Orleans Saints. There's going to be a lot of New Orleans fans. Ever since Katrina, it's funny. Not funny, but since Katrina, there's been a lot of displaced Saints fans living in DFW. Now there's another hurricane as we speak.
Yep.
On top of Louisiana, which sucks. But the Saints visit AT&T, and the Cowboys are a 6 to 6.5 point favorite at home.
Yeah, I mean, when I look at these two teams, like they're coming off some really good momentum. Obviously, the Saints got to be feeling themselves a little bit more than what. But I think they need to definitely, hopefully, in their head, they are really understanding the level of competition that they were going against in that first week compared to this week. I think this is a tough matchup. I mean, I can't see the Saints being a pushover, and just going to hand us the victory. Now, don't get me wrong. We can make it that way, and if our defense plays well enough, this can get ugly by halftime. But I think it's just one of those games that it's going to be a grind in the beginning. Whether one team or so gets ahead, I think Dallas in the end will be able to pull up the victory. I think by 2 touchdowns, I think will be like a 14-point lead by the end of it. It's just I want to see what happens by the end of the week. We don't know injury reports. We don't know anything. So for me to say exact scores and everything, that's really the hard part. But I think maybe like a 28 to 14 victory or something to that nature. Maybe we stop them a couple of times. They can score some field goals. But I really do like our matchup against this team. They do blitzes a lot. You know how Dak is against the blitz. That's one of the best quarterbacks that you can get. And the Saints showed a lot there. You know how Zimmer is against Kyle Shanahan. Bryan talked about it. Kyle Shanahan's type of offense. This is what we're going against, man. So he knows how to attack it. I like our matchups. So I do like us going in there. But again, the Saints could all of a sudden kick our ass, and everybody's like, wow, the Saints are a threat this year. So, that's why we played the game, right?
Yeah. I see us stopping their run. Like I said, they're going to do a lot of dinking and dunking. They get rid of the ball quick. That's why I said I don't think we're going to play as much zone this week as we did last week. I think we'll be up in the grill. I think they're going to apply the pressure. And I just think that I don't see this defense I think Dak has a big day. I think he has a big day. I think CD is a week more into the system. I think he has a big day. I'm excited for it. So you got us. What's your score?
I was saying if I had to take one now, because I don't really feel comfortable exactly, but right now I feel like a 2-touchdown score. 28 to 14 would be my final thing, but I don't even see them scoring a second touchdown. I see them scoring field goals, so I could see it like they score 16 points because it's like 7, 3, 3, 3, kind of like that. So it's 16 points. Give us 2 on top of that. That's 30. So 30 to 16. I like that.
30 to 16. Okay, that's not bad. Like I know.
You see, right? I did the math and everything. How I did it. Well, and then he's gonna do the wind is gonna get in his. The sun's gonna get in his eye.
I mean, I was gonna do a 40 burger, but I didn't do a 40 burger because what we showed in the second half, not being able to
do anything,
have that 4-minute offense where
4-minute
offense. Out the clock.
Yes.
We weren't able to do it. But I think we will this time. We'll get the running game going in the fourth quarter, which will stop us from getting to 40. Listen, it's only a scary game as if we are believing the headlines all of a sudden. We just need to go out. It's one game. We need to put another good defensive game out there. I think our offense rolls this week. I do. I think Dak throws the ball around 330 yards, 3 TDs. I think it's a big victory. Dallas -6 and over the 47. Final score 38-13.
Okay.
Cowboys -6 and over 47. I feel more better about this one than I did about last week.
Yeah, exactly.
But what we were doing last week. We were kind of
going with the last team we saw. Yeah.
Yeah. Well, plus we were kind of playing with the gods a little bit.
Well, yeah, but let's be real.
That's why this
we've
game
played
is tough, because if we lose this game and choke, last game don't mean nothing, everybody. That means this team has not grown up.
Yep.
And this team can't handle success.
Yep.
You got to stack wins.
It means
so go
shit.
give me a win.
It means shit, man. I think you spoke truth right there, man. This is are you going to separate yourself from those previous teams that can't seem to? As soon as we get a little bit of success, or they're still they're talking about us a little bit. Yeah, that's it. I've seen too much of that, especially when they start talking about matchups and stuff. That's where I'm just like, you guys are at that point now that you kind of need to prove it. I know the microphones are getting shoved in their face all the time. It's just, you don't necessarily need to talk all the time. You saw CD Lamb. He cut the media off and let them know, hey, man, I'm not going to talk about this shit. So just don't even play with it. Like, I think Dak and them, you get your contract now. You're going to watch these next couple years in Dak and the way he talks to the media. He has confidence in himself. You saw it. Well, he started saying stuff that he normally wouldn't have said. That's stuff that people are worried about being on the chopping block. Now, this guy is very confident in his ability, so he's now has the confidence to kind of say what he wants, which makes him a great leader in the locker room. So I do look forward to now Dak being signed, all this stuff happening. There's nothing we can control when it comes to it. 2 or so years, it'll become voidable if they want to go down that path. But otherwise, I mean, man, hey, it's moving forward in week 2. I do like the matchup. I do like this team and what direction they're going. But again, let's see what happens with second week, right?
Yes.
So, Brian, anything you want to say to the folks before we get out of here so you can jump onto your broadcast here in a few minutes?
Yeah, no, just, I will be on. I will be back in town. You'll see me. I mean, you'll see videos from me. I'm leaving tomorrow around 1:30-ish Eastern, so I'll get up there around 4:30, So you'll see stuff from me, but I will be home in time to do a Zoom, stream the game on Sunday. So I will be here back in the man cave, ready to roll, hopefully to see a dominant win, hopefully a win. That's all I care about at this point. We need to stack the wins on top of each other, and hopefully everybody comes over and hangs out. As soon as I'm done here, I got to do fire the stream up and get going. So, yes.
All right, well, guys, I appreciate you coming through. Giving us your picks inside the chat. Let us know what you think is going to happen with any of the games, man. Let us know what your predictions are going to be. Brian, I appreciate you coming through. Enjoy your weekend, sir. I'll definitely catch you on the other side.
As well.
Thank you, guys. I appreciate everybody coming in. And one thing I definitely appreciate you guys not forgetting to do is do what?
Always ring that bell.
Always ring that bell. You guys take care.
Who are you?
Like always, I'm your host, Primetime Phil.
What kind of a stupid name is that?
Oh, they let you pick any name you want when you get down there.
And what is your name, sir?
Well, I told you my name, man.
Sir, what's your name?
It's my co-host, Gametime Bryan.
Cool name. Superpowers?
I haven't relaxed. I'm ready for a wild show.
What would you say you do here?
I don't know what it is yet, but it could be a lot of things. So we'll see.
This doesn't make any sense.
Nah, nothing makes sense here, man.
You thinking what I'm thinking, Bart?
Yeah, let's f***ing rage!
Yeah, okay, cool. I don't need the PBS special.
What the fuck is this piece of
Can you say what the f*** did I do last night?